So, Gothic Remake has been out for a week now, and I've played it for roughly 45 hours and gotten exactly to the halfway point of the game. And as much as I'm liking the game and I'm thoroughly addicted to it, it is by no means a perfect game. Although the remake does a lot of things really well, it's also surprising just how many things it screws up by modern standards, especially given how extensive THQ Nordic's advertising campaign was. It's like a good game, but it's definitely no like Game of the Year candidate. So in this video, I'm going to give you an honest review of the game from the halfway point, what it does well and not so well. Bear in mind guys, this isn't going to be a full numeric breakdown of the game, so if you guys are looking for that, subscribe and stick around for when it releases in like a week or so. First, let's cover all the things that the game does well, and there's quite a bit here. Right off the jump, the game's world is fucking gorgeous. It's so realistic and there's so much attention to detail, and as far as immersing myself within the story's initial premise, the game really delivers with the visuals. From the landscape design to the flora and fauna, and especially the different architecture of the settlements, it was done extremely well and fleshed out completely. Although it does really fall apart a little bit during the close-up dialogue cutscenes between the characters, where like random eye movements and weird camera glitches break the immersion. Like it's really hard to follow and stay invested in certain dialogue chains when the camera ends up in like the ass end of some corner, and it's actually funny how bad that is. Moving on guys, the game also really delivers on the combat and progression promise that was marketed so heavily. The combat really does have some of that AA jank and isn't as smooth as something like Ghost of Tsushima for instance, but has a very reactive and skill-based flow, which I really appreciated. You start off slow, but as soon as you start investing in the right skills and getting some decent weapons, the combat becomes much more intuitive. I especially like how different weapons have different movesets, and how it can change drastically given your directional inputs, whether it's like right left swipe or upward jab or downward spike. Every weapon has a different moveset for each of the directional inputs, and they can directly impact your combat flow with certain enemies. For examples, against like flying enemies, an upward jab from a sword is good. If you're fighting like the chickens for instance, then like a downward spike is good. I really like that sort of combat versatility and depth. The game also has a hidden posture system, which I really liked, and your proficiency and timing with your combos can really help you overwhelm mobs and stagger them to deal additional damage if you master your weapon swing timing, which I was again very impressed with the game design. And as for the progression itself, it's just as advertised. The game is systematically brutal early to the point where even regular ass mobs can like two-shot you like Elden Ring bosses. But if you stick to them without losing your marbles, you'll eventually hit certain power spikes, get certain weapons, and start getting your sweet revenge on everything you were terrified of earlier. It's the age-old strat that games like KCD and Souls games use. Demand investment early by making things super difficult, so every little upgrade feels like a massive earned accomplishment. I'll be honest guys, even though I could see that shit coming from a mile away, it still ended up working on me and has me properly addicted. The only downside to the progression so far is that it only seems to exist in the early game. When you get around to like late chapter 1 and get through the initial slog, the game suddenly just plays like a regular ass RPG. All the hard-earned progression is gone and replaced with your standard scaling, which I was kinda honestly disappointed by. I don't like when games build themselves up to be this kind of like hard immersive grind, only for the system to completely let up after the first 10 hours. Maybe it changes in the second half of my playthrough, but honestly I'm not too hopeful. It makes the whole experience just feel like a gimmick at the start. The hard-earned sense of accomplishment I felt during my first 10 to 15 hours is completely gone now, and I'm more or less just like two-shotting everything in my path. One final good thing I want to talk about is the game's musical scoring. It's absolutely phenomenal. Every separate biome has its own background music, which is a feat I don't even see in like big AAA games, and every single score really does its part in bringing the story together and making it feel like an immersive action series that you've been dropped into. The game really takes itself seriously, and the score reflects that with big booming orchestral tracks to add stakes or just like thematic ambience. Honestly guys, the scoring is so good that it actually exposes the game's basic bitch plot beats. You sort of feel like a certain interaction is supposed to carry a lot of weight, but the plot beats and the character arcs just like completely destroy it. And speaking of, that's actually the major problem I have with Gothic Remake. It's not even necessarily the plot, but how the plot is communicated through the game's quest design. And I'll be straight up here, the quest design in Gothic Remake is absolutely dog shit. The whole point of marketing this game as a remake was to preach about all the new bells and whistles that has been added to the game, from the visuals to fleshing out certain plot beats for the factions and all that other jazz. And yes, while they delivered on it, especially for the visuals, the Gothic Remake quest design is still stuck in 2001. I was honestly so shocked that a game released in 2026 can have the same brain-dead, soulless, bullshit quest design as like games from the pre-Witcher 3 era. It's doubly bad when you consider the original Gothic inspired The Witcher 3, and yet the remake has not learned from the intuitive and world-centric Witcher 3 quest design and incorporated into its own game. Literally every fucking quest I've been given is like a glorified fetch quest. Go here and talk to this dumb fuck. Run here and kill these dumb fucks. Go fetch me this, you dumb fuck. I'm literally playing as an errand boy. I was really surprised that they hadn't modernized the quest designs for the game, because all the immersion that they built up through the gorgeous world design and steep progression curve is shattered completely with these moronic ass quests. And because they're just fetch quests, the game doesn't really allow the characters to be developed. You can't understand or develop any sort of connection to these characters because the devs are running on a 2001 template that just transforms our hero into a water boy and calls that a plot. It's really sad because it transforms what could have been an amazingly immersive experience, especially for players like me who never played the original, into like a fantasy combat simulator with like nice world design. At no point in my playthrough did I feel connected to any of these characters. You can literally replace any of them with another talking character model with different voice actors, and it would change literally nothing about the gaming experience. It's doubly annoying because games like Kingdom Come Deliverance has already ran this exact same playbook but modernized it for the post-Witcher 3 era. They also have hard to master combat that become extremely rewarding at the end. They also have a gorgeous open world that encourages exploration. But you know what KCD has that Gothic Remake doesn't? Intelligent quest designs that actually force the characters to grow and adjust to the plot beats instead of just like purely getting stronger. It has one of the most universally beloved and relatable main characters that I've ever seen on this side of like Kratos and Arthur Morgan compared to whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Gothic Remake has a very good skeletal foundation with visuals, audio, and even combat, but feels so empty because the devs didn't put any effort into creating compelling characterizations. It's just, look at this dumbass get yeeted into this place, and now we're gonna make him struggle for the first 10 hours so you get addicted to the progression and just copy and paste the old design template with new visuals. There's no heart or soul to this game. You don't feel connected to the MC or any other motherfucker in this game for that matter, and it's such a shame. Given the premise, there's so much room and potential to create memorable characters that go through compelling arcs that really capture the viewer, but instead we're just left with another hollow RPG experience, everything the marketing campaign promised it would have fixed. Well, there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts with the new Gothic Remake, halfway into my first playthrough. It's definitely addicting, but it feels like undercooked chicken when it comes to the narrative part, and I'm just so disappointed by that. As good as it is in some aspects, I cannot think of a single reason why anyone should play Gothic Remake before both KCD games. It's just like a shittier version of it, despite coming out years later. I'll probably finish this game within the next week, so if you guys want to see my full numeric breakdown and where it ranks in my tier list, subscribe to stay notified. If you watched this long, like the video so it gets boosted to other people who might also enjoy this kind of content. For those of y'all who have played it, what do you think of it so far? Do you agree with my takes, or am I just being too harsh? For those of you who are still on the fence about even buying Gothic Remake, where do you stand after watching this video? Let me know in the comments. I respond to every single one of them. And that's it from me in this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.